Say what you want to say about Funko. You can say that the NFTs are garbage. You can say that they recycle molds too much. You could say a lot of negative things about Funko. The one thing that you cannot say negative about Funko is their customer service. Now, their customer service might take a week to get back with you, but they never, ever argue with the quality of their product. If you tell them that it came in damaged, they ask for a picture, no questions asked. They send you a new one and don't even ask for the old one in return. I can't think of another singular company that will do such a thing. And I'm talking about this because do you remember the 18-inch Iron Man that I just recently did a video on? So Funko seen the fact that it had a damaged head, and they sent a replacement for this 18-inch Iron Man without getting the old one. Mind blown. So today we're going to get the new one out of the box. We're going to compare it to the old one to see if the back of the head doesn't have any mold damage, if they fixed it. Before we get into that though, let me say thank you for everybody who showed up for the Whatnot auction last night. I truly appreciate all the love and support this community shows me. I feel like I need to express that. I really do. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you do that already. I'll throw a link right down to the Whatnot down in the description somewhere. Go follow me over there. I am like 99 followers at this moment. I'm like one away from 100, so I'd appreciate it if somebody would go over there and be that 100 real quick. Let's get this box open and see if this one's fixed. I would have never thought in a million years that I would be doing a part 2 to this Iron Man 18-inch Funko Pop, because this thing is massive, and like I said before, I'm not really set up to do a pop this big, and now I have 2 of these guys sitting right here together. I am over the top impressed with Funko's customer service, and that's the one thing that as a community we all have to agree on, is that Funko's customer service is above and beyond most companies. I'm just gonna start getting this guy open. Boxing that went into this one is kind of insane. So this is going to be not necessarily the first one, but this is kind of the same way that they do the smaller ones, right? Or at least the way they used to do the smaller ones. So they used to do the smaller ones inside of a box, inside of a box, inside of its normal box, right? I never would have expected to see that from such a big one though. This guy comes inside of a box, inside of a box, inside of his regular box, and I have to be careful right through here not to get inside of the actual box, because at the end of the day, some of us are still in the box collectors, right? And I don't ever think that I'm going to be able to stop saying that this is the biggest Funko Pop unboxing I think that I have ever done. Now, just like before, it's the exact same box. They do still have that Funko Shop exclusive sticker right there. It's a little bit bigger than what you see on the normal Pops, but rightfully so, right? I mean, if you'd have put the same size sticker on this big of a box, it just would have looked silly, right? I mean, it would have been a pretty silly looking thing. Come on, get out of there. Get out of there. We go. Then you have this box. This box is a little different than all of them. This box does not have like an open or closed flap. You have to physically take this piece off and then pull this piece off of the bottom. I'm going to take a quick look at this box though to see if they're exactly the same. They do look exactly the same. I don't really see anything different with them. This is going to be number 2 again, other than the fact that it is throwing a shadow on me at this moment. It's going to be number 2. The box is really impressive, but like I said before, these things are something that you have to decide. You have to decide when getting this one that this is going to take up a lot of space, that this is going to be a big part of your collection, because between the box and the pop, they are going to take up a lot of space, unless you decide that you're going to leave it in the box. But to me, that kind of defeats the purpose of getting a pop this big. If you're going to have a pop this big and then not showcase it, I'm slightly concerned about you as an individual, because when you have a pop this big, this one should be right up front. I mean, this thing should be right up front as a showpiece in your collection. And I'm wondering if this one's going to have mold damage as well. I mean, I'm just going to say that it's not, or Funko would not have sent a new one. They must have known, or maybe they had an idea that that was a problem, and they fixed it. And that's the one thing that you can say about Funko and their customer service, is they are always looking out for their customers. Now, we can't always say the case when it comes to the collectors, but that's a different conversation for a completely different day, right? I mean, that's a completely different conversation. And I know that some of us are going to say that they're not two completely different conversations. Well, they are, right? Because not all customers are going to be collectors, and not all collectors are going to be customers, right? I mean, so that is two completely different conversations. So their customer service is on point. I really wish that they would put windows in this box. I think because of the size and the weight of the pop, though, that it's probably not feasible because of the size and the weight of this pop. And you wouldn't realize how much this thing weighs unless you physically had one in your hands. Now, the packaging that they sent this in says that it weighs 18 pounds. So if I took a couple of pounds away from the boxing and all of that, I would say that we're probably somewhere between the 10 to 15 pound marker just in the pop. I mean, that is insane. Now, they did make this box, like I said before. I didn't get all the tape somewhere. They did make this box, like I said before. If you wanted to put it on its side and then display the pop on top of it, that would be a reality. That is something that you can do. But, sorry about that. Come on, open it. Oh, this thing just doesn't want to come open. There we go. Just had to work at it a little bit. All right. Set that there. Just as before, they put these little cardboard pieces in there to make sure that it didn't flop around and get damaged too much. I think that was genius, to be completely honest. I mean, that was an engineer thinking on his feet. Then we have the packaging inside of the packaging, which is also pretty cool. These things normally take a lot of damage, though, and then, I mean, they just went through, they made sure that once it was in that box, that there was absolutely nothing that could happen to it that would damage it in any shape, way, form, or fashion. So any damage that come from him would have had to have come from their factory. What do you think? Like a drum roll at this point. Is it going to have mold damage? Is it not going to have mold damage? I can smell the paint that is coming off of it, though. I mean, so it clearly has a lot more paint than what you normally see, and they did a better job with it, but there is still some imperfections in the paint, and you could tell that they fixed the mold, which was really cool. So it's really just a retooling process when they go to fixing stuff like that. They did fix the top of it. It's not nearly as warped as it was. They clearly knew that that was a problem. There is some almost bowling ball like going on with the paint, which tells me that when they painted it, they put this plastic on it way too early, and it caused it to get this almost bowling ball effect. And that's an old school paint trick that you don't really see anymore, but that one wasn't done on purpose. That was clearly an accidental done thing. I wish that we didn't see that, but it's because of the way that it's sitting, you're never ever going to see that. The eyes still need a little bit more round to them. At the end of the day, look, it's really awesome that Funko's customer service goes above and beyond to the extent that they do. There's still some quality issues with this one right at the end of the day. Like, they got the hands and the look. Let's take a closer look at this guy. So if you look right into the eyes, there's this strange like cutout, almost like they cut out some piece of cardboard and then started spraying it on there, which is okay. Look, that's an old school painting trick. It works really well as long as your circle is round. Their circles are not that round. They're kind of off at the end of the day, like they were trying to fit it to the inside, but didn't take a whole lot of time and effort to do it. I mean, they could have easily taken a 3D printer or something to that extent and made a perfect circle or fitting that would have went in there. If you're listening, Funko's quality control, you need to get a 3D printer so that you can fix some of this without having to like trust your eyes or your hands or any of that to make that work. He looks really good, with the exception, like I said, I can tell that there was some fixing that went on back there, that there wasn't enough time and patience that was put into it when they were doing it. But this is still, just as before, a phenomenal pop, and this is going to be the centerpiece of your collection. Now, there is a little bit of glue spillover on his butt that I can clearly see, that you're going to have the bottom part's going to be separate from the torso, and then the arms are going to be separate from that, and the head is going to be separate from that. When they start getting into too many pieces, I'm not a huge fan of that, because you're always going to have this kind of super glue paint spillover to speak of. At the end of the day, Funko fixed their quality. I mean, they fixed the issue, no questions asked. I am just so impressed with Funko's quality control. Not necessarily their quality control. That came out completely wrong, because they definitely need to get somebody in quality control who's going to have a little bit closer look, a little bit more attention to detail, a little bit more something. But their customer service is always on point, always willing to help, always happy to look out for you. This is really awesome. If you're still here at this point, this is probably the universe telling you that you should have already subscribed to the channel if you like content like this and you want to come hang out with me, because I enjoy you coming to hang out with me. I appreciate it, guys, and until next time, have a good one. Man, that's a big pop. Jesus. I mean, wow.
Get him, Diesel. Run so he can chase you. Get him, Diesel, get him. Get him. Come on, let's go get him. Ow!